Hello, Machine Shop Math, Machine 1343. This video is a walk through D2L. Everything that you need for this course, the video links and everything are in D2L. Everything I put up on D2L is in a PDF. So I suggest you get a thumb drive or an external drive or save it to a file on your computer and use it from there. That way you're not tied to the speed of the internet with D2L. Alright, so how do we get to D2L? You may be able to get to it in your class log on, but go to My Lone Star. We log into My Lone Star and we find LSC Online. As a student, you may have a quicker link to get to there. So we go to LSC Online. Yours is going to look different than mine. Go to Brightspace, D2L. Again, you may have a direct access to this as a student. And these are all the courses. Yours is going to look different than mine. Let's see here. We want Fall 2024. Now, Machine Shop Math, Machining 1343 is because it's a workforce course. They split it up with a lab and a lecture. There is no separate lab. We talked about that in the syllabus video. So anyway, you'll notice that the Y002 section is inactive. So we click on the Y001, Fall of 2024. The course should open for you at 12 a.m. That's midnight on the 26th of August. Again, this is a 7-week, 2-day course. It's not 8 full weeks. Alright, so click on this. And depending on the speed of your internet, it should open up. First page is important dates for this course, just like we went through it just in the syllabus. Also, I put the announcements here. We have 8/26 as the class begins. D2L is supposed to open up at midnight on the 26th. Let's see, official day of record means nothing to you, but it does to me. Midpoint, and then here's the last day to drop the class, 10/2 of 24. Again, I stress, don't drop this class unless you and I've had some kind of conversation about it. You may not be doing as bad as you think you are, but if you do need to, you can send me an email, and I will process the paperwork for you and save you a trip to the desk up front, and I'll just attach your email with it. All your emails to me, again, need to have your name and your student ID number. Even though I know who you are in the class, it's just that way it speeds things up. Okay, Habit 1 and Exam 1 is due on the 1st. That should be a Sunday, and all these due dates are Sundays, except for the final exam, which I've given you to Wednesday. That's 2 extra days. Actually 3. So you have 10 days. So anyway, you can work ahead, and I'll show you how all that's laid out. Here's the course calendar. And so let's look at what we have up in D2L. Now, 3 of you, as of this morning, that would be August the 17th, need to do your orientation in D2L, or you won't be able to access this stuff. It's my understanding. I have sent the 3 of you a blind copied email, and then I've sent you individual emails, the 3 of you. Go into D2L and do your orientation. If you have a problem, it should tell you when you get into your D2L for your class that you need orientation. Okay, so course management's for me. Content grades, course activities. There aren't any course activities. Collaboration, we'll show you a list here in a minute. And VTAC support. VTAC support is the online support. I also have a chat option. So if you're having issues with anything, you can go there and do a search. Student orientation, that kind of thing. But D2L should be throwing a message up that you need orientation. You just take the short course online. All the instructors have to do that orientation, or they can't teach online, or they can't teach a hybrid course. So anyway, so let's go look at content. Look at here. Okay, here's the table of contents. We have the syllabus. We have the D2L video list. There's where Covey's at. Reference materials. Week 1, Week 2, Week 3, Week 4, Week 5, Week 6, Week 7, and Week 8. These little bubble numbers here tell you what things are in that week, how many items are in that folder. All right. So these are all in PDFs. Download them. You can come right over here. You see, it says download. You download this to a folder on your computer or thumb drive or something, and that way you can work on your computer. You don't necessarily have to be online until you email the stuff back to me. So let's open up the syllabus. We've already had a video on it. See, and there's the syllabus. I will also email you a copy of this. I should have taken all the Thursdays out of here and fixed it to make sure it's on Sunday. Okay, all right. All right, so that's the syllabus. All right, let's go back to the table of contents. Online videos, this is for the spring class. As soon as I get the hyperlink, when I upload this video to YouTube, I'll update this file, and we'll open it up, and it's going to look pretty much the same. All these links are active. Again, this was back to the spring. Yours is going to say fall, and the first 2 videos will be current for the fall. The rest of these, ignore any dates. This is the date that I did this particular video. I added a video. And if I add a video, you will all get notification that a new video has been posted. Okay. All right. Now, so the first thing you do will be watch videos 1 through 4. 1, 2, 2.5, 3, and 4. That's how to get started in the course. Week 1 videos. It's pretty self-explanatory. There are 7 math video links. Serve your week 1. Intro to fractions. This is Khan Academy. I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. He has a good lecture on this. If these links are broken, they don't work, let me know, and we will fix that. Multiplying fractions, dividing fractions. Okay, there's no reason for me to have to go through all of this. Watch these videos. Now, this video is by me, 6. It's a fraction recap and the order of operations. You know, PEMDAS, please excuse my dumb A sister. Or please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. PEMDAS. Okay. Week 2 videos, there are the videos for week 2. Week 3 videos, again, there is a short thing on Euclid. And remember, Euclid wrote the 13 elements as he taught mathematics at the University of Alexandria in about 300 to 350 BC. And if you want a copy of Euclid, I can put it on D2L. I have an 1889 translation, Greek and English. Here is one on Rene Descartes. As a machinist, you'll be using the XYZ coordinate system for the rest of your life. Us competition shooters use it. Artillery people use it. It's the Cartesian coordinate system. It was named after René Descartes. Cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I'm alive. Now, René Descartes was a contemporary of Galileo when Galileo was under house arrest because he pissed off the Pope. And René Descartes was a devout Catholic, although he spent most of his time not living in France. He spent it up in Holland. But he was about the same time. So there was a young fellow soon to come on the math realm. That would be Sir Isaac Newton. René Descartes, what he did was he took geometry and linear algebra and came up with a combination of those things. So he's the father of modern mathematics and philosophy. All right. And remember, Euclid, the laws of nature are but the mathematical thoughts of God. And I don't particularly care what your opinion about God is, whether you think God exists or not. That's between you and God. Cogito ergo sum in the Latin. It's a philosophical statement that was made in Latin by René Descartes. It's usually translated into English as I think, therefore I am. More exactly, it means I'm alive. Lifelong learning, okay? The phrase originally appeared in French as Je pense donc je suis. Yes, and you just thought I was another old guy. So, lifelong learning, my friends. All right, how bolts are made. These are some fun videos to watch from how bolts are made and the Portland Bolt Company. And Joe Paisneski, if you're a machining student, you need to subscribe to his channel. He is an old tool and die maker, and he has some incredible videos. This one is about upside down and backhand threading. This is how I thread my rifle barrels. This guy in Austin also has some very good videos on machining, compound setups, and stuff like that. Okay? All right. Video 7, again, is by me, angle, shapes, circles, and triangles. Video 8 is threading. Okay? Threads. If you can't manually thread on a manual lathe, you're no good as a machinist. Okay? I upside down and backhand thread. That way I don't have to worry about crashing the machine. I've got some threading tools back in the manual lab. Sometimes if Bo has time, he'll show you how to do backhand upside down threading. It's much more easy on your nerves than trying to stop that split nut before it crashes into the chuck. Anyway, let's move on. So there's video 9, part 1 of 2, and video 9, part 2 of 2. Okay? This is for exam 2, part 1 and part 2. Now, let's go to exam 3. The right triangle, the polyhedron triangle. Watch this video from Khan Academy. Here's another one, trigonometry on Khan. All right. Then you get into Uncle Mikey's trig. Okay. All right. And between these videos and Uncle Mikey's trig for poets, you should have no problem with trig. If you do, you email me before the stuff is due, and we will work through your issues. All right. Okay. All right. Now, look how many videos there are to prepare you for Exam 3. Exam 3 has a lot of moving parts. Exam 1 and Exam 2, you should make an A if you get on it early. Follow what I said in the videos, and just plug and play. Submit it properly. Exam 3 gives people some trouble sometimes. But get on it. Get on it early. Week 5 videos. Exam 3 to see week 4 file. So give you a little break there. Week 6 videos prepares you for exam 4. Haas speeds and feeds. This is one from Haas. Explains from Haas's perspective speeds and feeds. All right. And this is the exam 4 lecture review video. Week 7 prepares you for the final exam. By the time you get here, and again, you can work ahead. You can work ahead. Just stay on track. You can work ahead. So let's go back up here to the, oh my. Let's go back to table of contents. Yeah, here's Covey. There's a separate video on how to do Covey. And what's expected. Here's the book. I think habit 1 starts on page 32. Actually, it's page 31. Part 2. All right. Page 31. It's part 2 of the book. I don't expect you to read part 1 of the book unless you just want to. You just start at 31 and read habit 1 and do a 2-page reflective paper on each of the elements of the habit. Be proactive, social mirror, between stimulus and response, etc., etc., etc. Proactivity defined. What does it mean to be proactive? Taking the initiative, act or be acted upon, listening to our language. Circle of concern and circle of influence. What can I control and what bothers me? Direct, indirect, and no control. Expanding the circle of influence. You don't have to be in charge to be a leader. Okay? The haves and the bees. The other end of the stick. Making and keeping commitments. And then there's a 30-day test if you want to do it. Application suggestions. Okay, and there's habit 2. All right, you get the idea. This will be repeated back in the Covey video. All right, let's go down to reference materials. See, we have reference materials. Here's 3 of those. So there's reference materials. Master formulas. My advice is you download this master formula. Oh, I did put Euclid's elements up there. Okay. Anyway, so you don't have to ask. It's there if you want it. And here's a stare at tool rules. Let's open each one of these up. Master formulas. What does that look like? Download this stuff. There's 22 pages in here. You'll be using these formulas throughout your career as a machinist. Angles, everything you ever want to know about it. List of shapes. What are these actually called? More shapes, some 3D shapes. Okay. Here's a Foostrum. You say Foostrum at the dinner table, you expect your mama to slap you, right? Well, funnels are Foostrums. Trash cans are a Foostrum if they're tapered. It's just a truncated cone or pyramid. We'll be doing some Foostrum formulas. Triangles. This thing got pixelated, but you can read it. Equilateral, acute, right, isosceles, scaling, and obtuse. All right, the right triangle, the Mac Daddy of all triangles. Okay, you'll notice that a triangle with the side ratio of 3, 4, and 5 is a right triangle. All right. Circles, coordinate geometry. You'll be doing a lot of bolt circles. And there's the rules of the road for plane geometry. Formulas for areas, formulas for volumes. So here's the formula for a Foostrum of a regular pyramid, Foostrum of a right circular cone. That's how you find the volume. You'll be doing problems with that. And there's trigonometry. Sine, cosine, and tangent. Cotangent, secant, and cosecant are just the inverse. You'll see they're flipped upside down. Okay. Law of sines, law of cosines, Trigonometry expanded. And this is Uncle Mikey's trig for poets. If you're using the sine, I did the algebra rearrangement for y'all. So let's say you have opposite and hypotenuse. Well, if you have opposite and hypotenuse, you're going to have to use sine, some kind of sine. So if you have the opposite and the hypotenuse, and you want to find the opposite side, then you take the sine of the angle and multiply it times hypotenuse. I did the algebra rearrangement for you. Merry Christmas. All right. If you're trying to find the hypotenuse and you're using the sine, all you've got is opposite hypotenuse, well, you're going to use sine. So this is how you find the hypotenuse. You divide the opposite side by the sine of the angle. Same for cosine and same for tangent. Now, if you have a formula that needs the cosecant or secant or cotangent, you just use the inverse of the sine, cosine, or tangent. Flip it upside down. The law of sines, given three sides, in any triangle, the cosine of an angle is equal to the sum of the squares. This is all here. Tapers. You'll be doing a lot of tapers. Here I did the algebraic rearrangement for you. You will have a taper problem on the test, or actually two, or maybe more. So, if you're trying to find the long side, then that's the large diameter minus the small diameter times 12 divided by taper per foot, if you know the taper per foot. Finding the taper per foot is that formula right there. And so I did all the algebraic rearrangement for you in this formula sheet. Speeds, customary units, whether it's C or N or D. See, I took that formula and I rearranged it algebraically for you. If you're doing metric units, if you're in metric land, this is the metric formula, but this is the imperial formula. What we do in America, where C is the cutting speed in feet per minute or meters per minute, N is the spindle speed in RPMs, speed is RPM, and D is the diameter of the workpiece. In a lathe operation, what's the diameter of the workpiece, or the diameter of the cutter in a mill? Okay. Your feeds, here's the formulas for feeds, and here's the legend for what everything in that formula stands for. See the equal sign in all of these? C equals, N equals, D equals. That's algebra. Algebra. This side equals that side. All right, here's the time. How long is it going to take you to do this operation? And here's the legend for the formulas. You're welcome. And here is the Z depth. You have a pointed, what is that? Get out of there. Oh, whatever, Microsoft. All right. This is the actual extra depth. So let's say you wanted a hole, and we'll discuss this in another video, that's 2 inches deep. Well, if you just took a regular 118-degree pointed drill and set your Z depth at 2 inches, you're not going to have a full diameter hole that's 2 inches deep. So you have to figure out what the Z depth is. The extra you have to drill to make sure you have 2 full inches of that diameter. And this is the formula right here. Your Z add is 1/2 the diameter divided by the tangent of 1/2 of the drill point angle. So you divide 118 by 2, take the tangent of it, you divide that into half of the diameter of the drill. And then that's your extra Z depth. Of course, you got to make sure your part's thick enough or you'll have a little pokey poo at the bottom. Very nasty, and you'll be laughed at in the machine shop. And here's a key set formula in case you ever need it. Okay. Here is a bolt circle coordinate template. We will go explain all this. This is an extra template for you in the formula sheet. You can print off as many of these as you want All right, this is the bolt radius, not the diameter of the circle, it's the radius, it's half. The angular value for that particular hole, and that's the x deal. Cosine controls the x, sine controls the y. X and y. Okay, that's the relative, and then this is the absolute. So let's say the center of the bolt circle is at 1 inch and 1 inch, x of 1 and y of 1. This is your relative position on the circle, and then you add where the center of the circle is. If it's 1, you put 1 there and add 1 to that answer, and you add 1 to that answer, and 1 to that answer, and the same over here. If this is 1, could be 10 and 9. All right, so that's it for the master formulas. I would download this if I were you, and so you can get to it, or actually print it. All right, let's go back to the table of contents. Table of contents. All right, master formulas. Here's Euclid's elements. Okay, it wasn't 1889. All right, I digressed. And this was reprinted by these people in Fundamentals of Plane Geometry Involving Straight Lines. See, here's the Greek on this side, and there's the English over here. So I'm sure y'all are just excited about that, and we'll spend lots of time at night going through this. Yes, but it's here for you if you want it. Okay, let's go back to reference materials. Now here's a real important book, The Master Formulas and the Starrett Tools Rules. Yeah, I'm a geek. I had to put that up there. I have a copy of Newton's Principia of Mathematica in Latin and in English if you want it. Newton took all the works of all these predecessors, Euclid, René Descartes, and put it together in his Principia of Mathematica, which was finally adopted by the Academy in Paris, France, in the early 1700s. Finished it in the late 1600s. All right, well, I digress. All right, Starrett Tools and Rules. Download this. You're going to use this. This is how to read and do stuff, okay? Introduction, linear measurements, how to use slide calipers, how to transfer measurements, depth gauges, combination sets, micrometers, vernier tools, depth gauges, okay? Work location, measuring lathe work, round flat stock, measurements of length and diameter, measuring screw threads, angles, dial indicators, granite surface plates, you name it. This is by the Starrett Tool Company, and it's how to use all these tools, gauge blocks, that sort of thing. Now, when this class used to be 16 weeks long and it was face-to-face, I would bring in a gauge block set and show you how to ring them, stick them together, so you can stack them. But download this and save it for the rest of your machining journey. Okay, all right, let's go back over here. That ends reference materials, table of contents. All right. Now, this is optional. What I did is for those that may need a little help getting started, this is the old textbook that we used to use, okay? So there's 68 pages in here. You do not have to read this. It's not mandatory. You can follow the videos, watch the Khan Academy videos on fractions, watch mine, and move on. But if you need some extra help, if you think you need a book, then you can certainly, I put it up here for that reason, okay? It's units 1 through 13, but it's optional. It's recommended, it's optional if you need it. Okay? You don't have to do that. All right? Week 2. What's in week 2? All right? Week 2. Again, chapters 14 through 23, and that there's no more of the old book that I put on D2L. Again, this is recommended. It's optional. If you want to use it, you may need it, you may not. Okay? Watch the videos. Here's the exam notes. Handwritten calculations. Your work you turn in with your exam, it better look like this. It's hand done. Follow the videos. The videos explain this step by step by step. And yes, I even left my mistake in here so you can see how easy it is to get the decimal place in the wrong spot. Okay? All right. Now, so that's how your handwritten work should look. So I can follow it. A lot of students put the wrong answer on the exam, but because they submit their work like this that I can read, and they got the right answer in their work, they just transposed a number on the exam. I can give them credit because they actually got the right answer down in the work. Okay? Now, the answers on the videos and in these work lectures are not the correct answer for the real exam. Same problem, it's just different numbers. So you got to go through all of this, okay? You've been pre-warned. PEMDAS, order of operations. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, then subtraction. All right? It's all in that lecture video. And this is where everybody gets screwed up. Well, not everybody. Most people. They forget to take the depth of the cuts. That's in the lecture. Okay? So, that's the way all these work. You better follow it. And the pulleys and gears, whether they're indirect relationships or not, people get messed up on this. Okay? All right? All right. Follow the videos. Now, B and C, they're on the same shaft. So if B's turning at an RPM, C's turning at the same RPM. People get this messed up all the time. But watch the videos. Same with this. Gears are on the same shaft. So if B's at 10 RPMs, C's at 10 RPMs. And then you go C at 10 RPMs and figure out how fast D is turning. All right. Tapers. Tapers are a direct relationship. That's all in that video. Okay? Okay? All right. So let's go back to week 2. What else is in week 2? There's the exam 1. Look, there's the first exam. Bingo. You fill it in. Type in your name. Type in the answer. Make sure your name's on the exam. And then you save it as the PDF in the proper format. Look at there. Look at there. Remember, F and G are on the same shaft, so they're turning at the same RPMs. All right. Same with gear B and gear C. Watch the videos. There's the taper. Follow the directions. Follow the video. So there's the first exam. All right. Table of contents. Let's go back to the table of contents. Now that was week 2. Okay. And don't forget when these things are due. It's on the calendar. Oh, week 3, the case of the donut hole. These are all expected to be read. History of the screw, identifying screw threads, threading lecture 1, exam 2 notes and review, and there's exam 2. Like I said, you can work ahead. Okay, so what's the case of the donut hole? The Mysterious Case of the Donut Hole. This is brought to you by Dr. Demento in partnership with Dr. Strangelove Institute for Real and Positive Thinking. These are donut spheres or donut balls. I don't care what the lady at the donut shop says. I've had lots of arguments with those ladies at the donut shop. That is not a hole. That's a ball. It's a sphere. If you want the hole, you got to buy the donut. And if you just eat the hole, you're eating air. And you're not going to gain any weight. Okay? A hole's negative space. A negative space. And it's defined by the surrounding solid mass. Positive space surrounding it. Negative space, positive space. It's all in the lecture. Okay? You're eating air if you eat the hole. These are balls. These are balls. Donut balls. All right. I digress. Let's go back to week 3. History of the screw, identifying screw threads, threading lecture 1. Okay. Watch the video. Exam notes. There's the exam notes. Walk you through what you're going to see on the exam. Again, all right. Volumes. Look at here. You're going to figure the volume because you got a through hole all the way through that thing. Step by step. Oh, we also included the Mysterious Case of the Donut Hole again to explain negative space. And looky here. There's your Z depth. Okay. All right. All right. So let's look at week 3. Go back to week 3. And what does exam 2 look like? Looks like the lecture, doesn't it? In the review notes. Areas, volumes. Area is always in unit squared, volume's always in unit cubed. If you get the right answer in there, but you don't have the correct units, it's a wrong answer. Must have the correct units. Okay, again, and there's no dimensions on this, right? So, A times B times C. Oh, I gave the answer away. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, Merry Christmas again. Let's go back to table of contents. All right, there's week 3. There's week 4. That's preparing you to prepare for gives you a little break in there. Prepare for week 5. Here's exam 3. So get on the exam 3 early. Get on exam 3 early. Exam 4, notes review. And there's exam 4. Exam 4 is really just a lengthy homework assignment with a bunch of repetitive stuff. You use one formula for that, another formula for that, another formula for this, and this, and this, and this, okay? All right. This is just a rule of thumb guide. Ignore that. I told you what to use. It says use this, that. It's in the lecture, okay? So that's exam 4. It's just a lengthy homework assignment. Watch the video and do it. All right, that's week 6. Let's go back to table of contents. And week 7. Okay, week 7, final exam review. There's nothing filled out in there. Oh my goodness, how can that be a review? Wow, look at that. That's a blank review. See, final review B. I've got 3 or 4 versions of this thing. All right, and there's your what your final exam will look like. Got to figure out where these are located, all this stuff, answer all these questions, blah, blah, blah. Watch the video. Don't screw up, because if you mess up one of these, you messed up the whole exam, just like in a machine shop operation. So let's go back to week 7. That's a blank one for you to fill out and practice on. Oh, looky there. Wow. Again, ignore the dates, okay? Just ignore the date. All right. This was done back during the scamdemic when we had to put everything online. But it worked out so well. We just kept this course at 100% online. The video in this, I walk you through every step that I do to solve this exam. Every step. This is the final exam. It's just the dimensions are different. It's the same layout. See? There's that absolute location, because the center of the bolt circle was at G, right? There's the center. So where is G? G is X at 17.7112, and the Y is at 9. Okay? That's where that's located at, from that 0, 0 ordinate. Okay? 17 over, and it's 9 from here. Okay? There's 7, and 2 is 9. Okay. All right. So we put the X add and the Y add over here, and we took that and added it to that to get that answer. Okay? All right. Don't forget your negatives. All right. And that's pretty much it. Okay? Now, how does that compare? And here are some handwritten calculations, all right, to help with this stuff. All right. That was needed. All right. Okay. Now, all of this you'll have a handwritten calculation on. All right, so let's go back up to the top. We're almost done with this. How long is this? How long are we at? We're at 42. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're good. Okie dokie. Let's go back to the table of contents. So you see how the review is? Now let's go look at the final exam. Let's go look at the final exam. There's your final exam. Wow. Does that not look familiar? Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. So guess what? You should be able to make an A in this class, or at least a high B. All right. Okay. Here's all the data. Follow the videos. That's it. That's your final. Looks just like the review, doesn't it? No surprises. No I got yous. Again, we want you to be successful. We want you to master this stuff. Learn to use these, because these are tools to help you in your career. And that's it. So until the next time, we will call it quits. We're at 43. We did pretty good. All right, so we'll go ahead and stop it. All right, if you have any questions, send me an email.